Hello everyone, my name is Alex.
And my name is Martin.
And we are Affinity for Commander.
Today we are celebrating reaching our latest milestone, 10,000 subscribers. We couldn't have done this without all of your help, and we are truly grateful.
As well as this, we've picked 5 random comments from Martin's previous shorts to be the winners of our latest giveaway, courtesy of altersleeves.com. The 5 winners of this contest will receive a promo code good for 2 of any of the artworks from Alter Sleeves' extensive library of perfect fit sleeves. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video to see if you are one of the lucky winners.
But before we get into this Q&A, we'd like to once again thank all of our amazing Patreon supporters. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to keep making content like this, and we certainly wouldn't have reached this milestone. So thank you.
But for now though, on to the Q&A.
So first off, Lenort von Diassen, I'm going to apologise in advance because I'm going to butcher everyone's names, but you should be used to that by now. They want to know, how did your decks evolve over time, and did your deck building styles change over the years?
So I'll definitely say our deck building styles changed, because originally it was just a case of, I have these cards that just rotated out, throw them together. To now we actually have strategies of deck building, which I think
about the decks.
Yeah, which I think we'll go on a bit later.
Yeah.
With regards to our decks evolving, I would definitely say that if you plotted them in terms of power level, I would definitely say that the older our decks get, the more powerful they get, just because they get new cards added to them, and new cards tend to be more powerful than old cards.
Yeah, I'd say that obviously if you've had a deck longer, you've had more time to play it, you know what works well and what isn't performing.
Yeah.
And when the new cards get released that you think that could be good in here, you know what to take out and put in. So it's trial and error really, like any deck, isn't it? So yeah, I think our deck building strategy has improved. At least I'd like to hope it's improved and we're not still like we were years ago. But to be honest, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Obama OW wants to know, what are your guys' thoughts on CEDH?
I mean, it's fine. We played with
Play to Win.
Play to Win. The only game of CDH I've ever played was with them. And
you won?
I won, yeah. It was really good fun. But to me, it's not the same. It's a very fast-paced game. It seems like who's the first one to get their infinite combo online with no one else interrupting it, you have now won. It's a very much speed game. And I prefer the more casual, fun interactions, silly interactions that you just don't get in it.
I would definitely say that CDH is, I would say it's almost a completely different format.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I would say it's the modern to standard, it's the vintage to legacy. It certainly draws on the same rules as regular EDH, but when we've played it, it felt like a different game. Like you play it and all these options that are available to you and how you have to think about it is completely different. So we all know begrudgings against it. It's certainly fun.
The only reason I prefer regular EDH is that it feels like it's more interactive, whereas CDH felt like you focus on yourself, you're ignoring everyone else and just focusing on what you're doing.
I would say it's the I'll say it's like different Pirates of the Caribbean where everyone's just sat on the deck all pointing 2 different pistols at everyone else. That's what CDH is to me.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Zrinko Barisevic asks, in a sea of random questions, I just want to ask you, how are you both? Like, seriously, how are you holding up? How is your stress level and health? Genuinely interested. That's actually a lovely question. Yeah. Thank you for asking it. I think we're coping is the nice way of putting it. We're currently going through, as well as the drama that's going on currently with the world, we're moving house soon, we're out to changing jobs. Yeah. There's a lot going on in our lives, and it is stressful. But just for me personally, I don't know how you feel about this, but when we do these videos, it's a bit of consistency to do these videos every week. And just seeing the positivity of you guys on the other end of the internet to us, it really makes it worthwhile. Like, it's really nice being able to go through all the nice things you say to us and the improvements that you suggest. It's all done in a nice way. It's never mean comments.
Yeah, it is also a little bit of positivity that also helps us. But generally, I feel we're doing all right. Yeah,
it's only up from here, hopefully, isn't it? Like, as soon as lockdown is released and we can go out and do relatively normal things, which we've missed for the past year and a half, I think everything will be fine.
David O'Connor wants to know, do you guys share cards, or is it a situation where some cards are off limits and they're yours, Also, your thoughts on proxies.
So we didn't share cards for years.
Literally.
But not why you might think. It wasn't a case of me going, my precious. It was more, Alex spends a lot more money on his cards. He has his fetch lands, his shock lands, his original dual lands. And I'm one of these guys that's just like, I like my value, my cheap and cheerful but strong stuff. And I felt like if we shared cards, I would be taking away from you and getting the most out of it. I didn't feel comfortable with that change. Now, though, we've given up with that and we both share our decks, share our cards.
Yeah.
The only thing we don't do is we build our own decks, and the other
Yeah.
person does not touch that deck, because otherwise he'd be just putting fetch lands in all my decks and I'd be putting silly cards in all his decks. That's out of bounds. But we're usually a case of, can I have this from your collection? Sure, why not? And
that tends to be it.
yeah, it works, doesn't it? Like, we have different play styles, so
Exactly. We don't tend to have much, beyond like staples, we don't tend to have much crossover.
yeah. Like, occasionally I'll play a deck and like, can I borrow a counter spell? And you're just like hot attack mode. But yeah, it works quite nicely.
Right. And with regards to proxies, if you've got one copy of Phyrexian Altar that's among several different decks that you need, and you want to say, look, here's a placeholder card for it, or here is an actual proxy that's actually been done, where there are lovely proxy artists out there, that's fine. You just want to swap it out. Or if you're testing out a particular commander, like say you've got Tasha Karlov as a head of a commander deck, but you want to try out with Tasha Scion, but you just don't have the Scion yet, that's totally fine. It's more when people go, I'm just going to play this hand-drawn Gaia's Cradle with a little post-it note on it.
Yeah, just the word Gaia's Cradle over a basic
and you're like, I really wish you'd told me that before we started playing the game.
Yeah, like, to me, I'm totally with you on the whole, if you've got one copy of a card in every deck and you have, like, the dual-sided cards, have to placeholder cards, that's fine. But to me, it has to be a case of everyone needs to understand you wish to play proxies, and everyone needs to agree to it and know what they're in for. Totally agree with the whole just playing sticky note cards is awful. If you're going to play a proxy, do it properly.
Yeah, like everyone in modern life should probably have access to like at least a printer. Like even if it's just a black and white, like at least make it everyone knows what the card is. You can see the rules text on it and everything like that.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with proxies as in principle. It's just everyone has to be okay with it at the table.
Exactly.
Syntax Error asks a curious and genuine question at the same time. Is that really your voice? And I'm going to assume he's talking about you, not me there.
No, this is actually my real voice. I just put a lot of bass on it to make it seem like it's lower. No, this is generally my real voice.
It's one of your best features, I would say.
Thank you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. All you need to grab a man, a deep voice, and some height. Yeah,
that's like, because everyone must think I'm short in these videos.
You are short.
I'm 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. Depends on the shoes, doesn't it? Whereas he's 6'6", so I am normal height for most men across the world. Yeah. You are freakishly tall. But you know, I mean, I like it, but it always makes me look short. But I'm not short, people. I am average. He's really short. I'm not.
Fiddler28 wants to know, do you build your deck to be the most powerful or to be on theme with flavorful cards?
I'd say option A, option B. I like my silly tribal decks. I like my fun, crazy interactions. And you are, what's the most streamlined, powerful thing I can do? That's it. That's efficiency.
Yeah, I want efficiency with mine. If it's above 4 mana, it better be winning me the game.
Whereas I'm just like, oh, this 12 mana spell's really funny. Yes. Yeah, that's how we build decks. AA asks, how was Commander changed since when you first started playing it?
To become more popular, I would say it's evolved to the point of more options rather than being more Cedh focused. Like, I love the fact there's now better designed, like this Commander's designed with a lot more Commander focus in mind. Like, you still had things like we had Eminence for starters.
Oh yeah, there's definitely, like, Wizards have put a lot more into focusing on it as a format rather than here happens to be a legendary creature you can use. It's more, here's one specifically for you, and pushing what the colour combinations do, making Commander events like Command Zones, having pop stars and American footballers playing it. It's great seeing it being so well received and so well expanded on.
Yeah, well, I'm quite happy for it, especially all new legends.
Yeah, definitely.
Adam Goa wants to know, question for Martin. Alex Narset, I'm assuming the blue Narset, then wheels you at the table. Just how long is he sleeping on the sofa for?
So it's cute that you think I'd let him sleep on the sofa, not just make him sleep on the floor outside.
Good for my back.
But I mean, people expect that kind of thing from Alex in our play group. It's known that if you let Alex live, you're gonna suffer.
What have I done to accumulate this propensity, this reputation for hate? I am a kind, loving player.
You know, these guys watch our videos, right? Like, they know what you do. They know what you're like. So yeah, like, I mean, it's to be expected. You can't change something that's inherently built into him at this point. So I just praise him when he doesn't do it, and let him get on with it when he does. Gavin Forbes asks, what process do you guys go through when building decks? Do you work together, bouncing ideas off each other, or do you not involve each other in your builds at all?
So I tend to get, obviously, the commander, and then get sort of 10 or 11 cards, have them in curve order, and then say, right, these are my cards of the theme, how the deck's going to win, they're what I want to do in the game. And then I tend to build around those and build the curve up from there with support around those.
I do it completely differently. I say, I get the theme, be, say, +1/+1 counters. I get every card we own that has that sort of keywording in it, stick it in a pile, and go, right, this needs to be cut down to 100 now, and do the reverse. I don't build up, I build down from it.
Yes, so I would liken it that I walk through the orchard and pick off the ripest fruit individually. You literally take the entire crop and then distill it down into a final bit.
That's a weird analogy, but it kind of works.
One Rast asks, how did you guys meet? I really enjoy your videos. Oh, thank you very much.
So we met on Tinder.
We did.
And our first date was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
It was.
When I won.
Which you did.
And it just hit off from there, really, didn't it? So I introduced him to the better, more superior magic.
Yeah.
But I'd say that bit of dating advice, if you care to listen to it, is never hide your nerdy side to other people you want to get in a relationship with. So the fact that we straight away knew we could talk about card games and video games and stuff, that was our common ground to build a relationship on. If you feel like you have to hide it for fear that someone isn't going to like you for it, they're not the person for you.
Very nice.
Here's a question from Thomas Weller. What's your dream meal?
Dry, aged, medium rare, ribeye steak, peppercorn sauce, garlic mushrooms, sauteed veg, and Dopamine potatoes.
Well, very specific there. I'm not fussy. I'll eat anything that isn't meat. So
yeah, I was going to say, vegetarian, allergic to nuts. Other than that, yeah, you will eat whatever.
Yeah, not fussy.
Chris Schofield asks, I've seen you guys commenting on other creators' videos. Who puts out your favourite content?
It's hard to pick a favourite. We like so many people's videos.
Yeah,
I just like,
especially when we talk to people so often as well. It's like asking which of your friends you like the best.
So to me, everyone has a different style of doing it. Even if it's all doing gameplay or deck text, everyone does it differently despite the similarities that may be there. So, for example, Mudster has quite a nice flow to his, quite nice and calm, and that nice Canadian sound.
Yeah, love Andrew.
And then you've got like people like Commander Mechanic who fix people's decks, and there's just such a huge variety, and everyone is genuinely nice.
Yes, they are.
It's weird having a community where everyone's nice to each other.
There's not a content creator that we've commented on or worked with or talked with that hasn't been lovely.
Yeah.
But I say we've got Mudster, Mechanic, Commander Replay, PJ.
How he makes different Boros decks every week, I'll never know, but it's fantastic seeing him.
Or someone else, MTG The Stack. Like, he just puts so much effort into his videos, which, as people who are very non-techy, like, it just looks like... It's like when you're at the gym and you see someone lifting your body weight double, you're like, gee, how? And how he does it every week is beyond me.
So there you go, like, we can't pick a favourite.
Yeah, but there's our recommendations.
Epistemus says, if you could each ban 3 cards from Commander, no questions asked, which 6 cards are now banned?
Solemnity.
That's a weird choice.
Armageddon.
Okay.
And the green one that also destroys all lands. I feel like it's Jokalop, something like that.
You know, there's like a million red cards that destroy all lands. That's
Oh,
specific.
okay then.
Has to be green because you hate green.
It's the one I remember the most because it's a weird name.
Yeah.
Just any card that says you don't get to play Magic at all.
From the control player.
Hey, you can play, I'll just counter certain things. That's fine. It's when you destroy the resources of people, that's where it's like, okay, so we're not playing Magic anymore then.
Okay. I guess that's a fair point saying land destruction bad. I would probably pick Cyclonic Rift just for personal reasons. I think it's very unfair, unbalanced. Like, just either hit everyone or make it sorcery speed. Don't make it instant speed. No one else has a board now. Don't like it. I don't like infect cards. So try for the hordes because it's just a case of you don't see it coming being a sorcery rather than a permanent, and then you now die because.
I feel like it's a personal attack on me.
And then I suppose I don't know. There's not many cards I'd like to get rid of. I don't like Skithrax very much, but I don't know if I'd ban him or not. Yeah, like it's just a case of it's got regeneration. You can't get rid of it, and it flies. And
you can give it haste, and if I can give it haste in mono black's weird.
But there's not many cards that I dislike and say this should be banned. Like there's cards I hate for salty reasons, like I've just said.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd ban anything apart from like Cyrift I can go by.
Fair enough. Gus S wants to know, what is the commander you play that the other hates the most? Okay, so a bit different how I thought it was. So I think it's a case of what commander do I play that I think you don't like?
Okay.
So I would think you don't. So many.
Pick one.
I would say you don't like. Okay, I'll give you three. Tell me if I get it right. You don't like my Urza.
No one likes your Urza.
My Atraxa.
No one likes your Atraxa.
Or my Muldrotha.
Yeah, I mean, all of them are equally horrible. I'd say
Thank you.
Muldrotha is probably my least favourite to play against of you because you can't deal with it. Like, unless you exile stuff, you'll just replay it and get it back, and you want stuff dead so you can get the ETBs.
Yep.
And most of the creatures you play, especially the lower cost ones, are all ramp. So even if I get rid of your commander, you can just play her again.
And I'll play the more ramp cards.
Yeah, it's just annoying to play against. I think like there is no answer to it that is the right answer.
Fair enough.
The others are just normal standard Alex shenanigans. How about me? Anything in particular?
No. What cards do you think that I hate?
I think you probably hate not a lot of my stuff because I'm great, but
no.
maybe Sphinxes because you hate the fact that
hate Sphinxes.
It's blue but not spellcast.
No. The reason I hate your Sphinxes is that you sit down with Sphinx Tribal and everyone goes, "Oh, isn't that adorable?" and burns their resources on me, and then you just go and drop 4 Sphinxes in a turn and they all fly, and then you win. And I genuinely have. It really angers me because I tell people how oppressive your deck can be.
Yeah, but people just go, "Oh, it's blue. It's got no good creatures."
Exactly. Yeah, your Sphinx Tribal is definitely one of them.
Carter Baldwin asks, "What are your guys' favourite underplayed commanders?"
I'm the Scorpion God.
Yeah,
because
cool.
The Locust God and the Scarab God are very well played commanders. Everyone knows about them. In fact, like if you play Commander avidly, you can probably tell me what they do off the top of your head. But the Scorpion God, they utilise
the underdog there.
Yeah, he utilises the Master counters. He still has that recursion element of the Amonkhet gods, and he's draw in Rakdos and also a little bit of removal.
Yeah, like the fact that you can like mid combat go, "Oh, I can make these creatures now take each other out by shrinking that one a bit and draw cards off it." And like, there's just so much horrible -1/-1 counter like shenanigans you can do, like Necroskitter. So yeah, I can see that. I would say my most favorite underplayed would be Grevin, Predator
Captain. Yeah,
because like he's one of those where you'll come and go, this isn't very good, and then it's quite, I'd say, a high risk, high reward one where I'm going to pay 20 life to this instant speed spell, making Grevin have over 21 power and hit you for lethal commander damage. And it's very case of if someone kills Grevin at that point, I'm just whoops, I can't do anything. But if they don't, they're gone.
I know you're wrong. It's a very much a one-trick pony type thing. But if no one's aware of the fact that you can just, as long as you've got Grevin out and he has Menace, So if you don't have 2 creatures out and you just swing with Gremlin, you can just kill someone right then and there.
Oh yeah, like
And
there's a lot of cards in red and black that say pay X life or lose X life, and it's easy enough to do.
And people just aren't aware of that. And if you're not, you do just die out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Simon Proctor asks, what kind of gameplay don't you like to see in a game of Commander?
Oh, where it's like really slow, nothing happens. Maybe there's stacks, but not always. Like to me, if you have say 4 or 5 board wipes in quick succession, like within a few turns of each other, and everyone's out of creatures and out of things to play, and it's just a case of draw a card, pass, draw a card, pass. I can't stand it. I want things to happen, and when there's too many answers, I think that's a good way of putting it.
I would say I'm in the same boat. I would say I'm more like hard oppression cards. Like if you go Decree of Silence and Solemnity, fair enough. But please win the next turn.
Yeah.
Don't then be like, oh, I have a win condition in my library eventually. I'm like, just no. You do that if you're going to win next turn. Otherwise, hold it.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Saying stopping the game so you can eventually find your answer is not great.
Yeah, it's true, but
no one's gonna like it.
Yeah.
Nicole Di Mauro asks, which deck has your favourite combo in it, either as a finisher or just a big splashy play is cool?
My favorite combo came from when I used to have my Kai-Car deck, because it was the not original Isochron Scepter with Dramatic Reversal. Because with Kai-Car, it gave you infinite mana, infinite creatures with his 1/1 spirits, which then gave you, if you passed the turn and you didn't have anything to do with the infinite mana, you still had infinite tokens, which you could sack to Kai-Car for infinite red mana.
Right, so it gave you options.
Exactly, it did a lot of different things to give you infinite tokens and infinite mana, which are 2 great ways of winning the game.
Yeah.
Which, as soon as you have an anger in the graveyard, you win. And you also get infinite mana to do whatever you want with.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. Mine would be Siona, Captain of the Polis. Because it's green-white, not really known for infinite combos. It tends to be quite blue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's the fact that Shielded by Faith and her ability makes infinite tokens, similar to Kai-Car. But there are so many ways to get that card from your library or graveyard onto the battlefield, not even just tutoring, it's straight onto the battlefield. And if they don't have an answer there and then, that is game. And I don't know, I don't really play combo very often, but that one I feel is justified, because she can look 7 cards deep from your library just by casting her, so you will find it quickly, And
at the end of the day, it's still just a good green-white Enchantress deck.
Yeah, it's got the draw, it's got the enchantment themes you always have. It's pretty solid.
DJ Bison, which is a great name, asks, what are your favourite colour combinations to play and why? And we'll overlook the lack of you in the colour.
A little British humour there. Local Golgari for me, because you always play counter spells. I'll play a creature, counter, I'll play it in the graveyard or bring it back because recursion is their thing. It's the only way you get around these heavy control players. And I just like the theme of life and death and mixing it together. That's my jam.
I would say for me, if I went on purely the decks that I have, it would have to be banned, because I've got a Chivasa, a Tulane, a Derevi.
I didn't realise how much banned you had.
Yeah, exactly. I do actually have quite a few banned decks.
The banned is real.
Just because it is blue-white, it has that green element of doing whatever green wants to do. But then I think half-hearts, I would still love to play a Jeskai deck. Like, I still would very much like to put my Kai-Car back up, remake it all properly again. The only problem is, I enjoy doing that. No one else does.
It all comes from that Mantis Rider standard you're playing, isn't it?
Mantis Rider.
Oh, that was a card.
Live in my heart forever.
Ellie Rotondo asks, what aspect of deck building do you find to be most challenging?
Not putting in enough removal or interaction because there are too many powerful cards I want to play.
I would say the same thing. I always go, well, I could put a kill spell in or a removal spell in, but I could just put a big zombie creature in, and
that's removal.
My life. Yeah, that's removal if they can't stop it and have to block it.
Yeah.
So, pretty simple one there from both of us, I think.
Rodolfo Morales asked, what plane in the multiverse would you like a set/return to?
So, Collins would be nice to go back to. I think that was quite refreshing, quite unique. Also has sentimental vibe towards it's the first one we played in together. And just having 3 colours love that isn't just the shards. The other
Yeah.
3 is the wedges they're called, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
I like
nice.
that one.
I would like to go to Kamigawa.
You redeem it a bit.
I will redeem it, and I want the full sweep of legends they had, and
Make legendary spirits.
Yeah, make legendary
tribal work.
spirits really good. But I just like the setting of it. But then again, I am a massive weeb.
You are a huge weeb. What if they go into Kamigawa and it was like modernized and it was just like kawaii and I don't know what other words you use to describe it. Like...
I would play the hell out of a kawaii magic set.
Marlow Captain asks, what is your favourite tribal deck in Commander? No, you don't like tribal as much as I do.
I've tried tribal several times. The thing I'm currently working on is Rin and Siri, because
tribal cat dog or tribal changelings.
Exactly. I get to make cats, dogs, throw in loads of changelings, get to abuse token synergy. So I would say that's more of a token deck than tribal, but that's the most I've ever got to it. I just don't.
You got tribal humans.
Oh yeah, Selva and Trin, they're great. But then again, I think that's just more abusing human interactions rather than tribal.
This is in modern, so we'll put it in Commander and make it good.
You are just tribal happy.
Oh, pretty much every other deck I own is tribal. I've got druids, I've got dinosaurs,
vampires,
sphinx, vampires,
God,
wizards.
Yeah,
like I've got so many.
You have a lot.
Decks. Like I just like how tribal decks, like they all care about each other. They all care if you have other ones of their tribe, and I just like the little everyone gets together and is happy. And
we'll drag some crackers for that cheese.
Well, you just have the little. I'm just going to play Great Elf in every deck because I can, and that's just not fun.
Hey, I care about Great Elf. He's my tribe.
Tribal.
Good stuff. Cedh Honeysuck, I'm sorry. What was the moment you decided Commander was the format for you?
So we were playing Standard.
Yeah, we were playing Standard.
We rotated out into the next set, and we had a load of cards that we couldn't use.
Yeah.
And we bunged them all together and played Commander. I think it was the first time we played 4-player, and I realised that it wasn't just who's the better Magic player. There's so many more factors. Yeah, and that's why I like.
It wasn't a day where we looked at each other, locked eyes, and then just binned off everything Standard related. It was a gradual process where you started playing Commander a lot more avidly than I did initially. I was still playing Modern. And over time, I just played less and less Modern and started selling my Modern bits to buy Commander staples.
And then the decks came out for that year, which were Merrin and Mizzix and that lot. They just, again, Merrin, Graveyard Stuff, Mizzix, Spellslinger.
Beautiful.
Just fit our personalities perfectly. And then we were just like, all right, that's it. It's the only thing we ever need to buy again. And now I have a Modern deck, which is Mono Green Stompy.
I have to.
You kind of have the staples for it, but you haven't played Modern in ever, and I only play it when my friends want to test out a new deck. So Commander's only for what we really play.
Pretty much.
Laws13 asks, will you dedicate a room or more for MTG in the new house?
I mean, yes.
So we currently live in a flat of 1 story, moving to a house of 2 stories. The top floor will be Magic, and that is all we need to say on that matter. Well, I'm sure you'll see a new background set at some point. Depending how long it takes, there will be a room for that.
Gethin wants to know, in your opinion, what thing, be it social or gameplay, is the most important thing to make a fun game of Commander? Also, congratulations on buying the house. We did it a few years ago, and it was a nightmare for a few months, but all worth it in the end.
Well, it's good to know there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
I would say, to me, the most important thing about Commander is you are having fun playing it.
Yeah, definitely the social aspect.
Yeah, so obviously in a game of 1v1, you have a 50% chance of winning, speaking like pure stats.
Yeah.
Whereas in Commander, you only got 1 in 4. So you can't go in saying, I want to win all the time, because the odds are against you in that.
Yeah.
So you've got to have fun. Everyone else has to have fun, or else they won't want to play with you anymore. And that is my favourite thing. I don't care if I win, because I've had fun with my friends. We've had good banter. We've had crazy interactions that no one saw coming, and I had to get 3 judges over to kind of guess what's going on. Oh, God. But that's the best part of it for me.
Exactly. It's lovely interactions, being sociable, and... As was our old phrase, it's not whether you win or lose, it is how you play the game.
Yeah, exactly. D says, congratulations on the house, still looking myself. For the Q&A, could you tell us your MTG guilty pleasures? Cards that the table hate, but you still love to play.
I've got a guilty mechanic.
You got a guilty deck building style, I think.
Infect.
You're a filthy individual.
I know. I do want to make my Atraxa into Atraxa Infect, but with like themed, like all new Phyrexian Mirrodin cards and the Praetors in it. That'll be a lovely thematic Infect, gooey, horrible Ecor deck.
Okay then. I do not have any evil guilty pleasures. I like mixing it up. There's cards I play that are
I would
gross.
I would say you do.
Go on then.
You like whacking people out of the game in one turn. That's what you like to do.
I like big stompy things, yeah, but like I wouldn't say that.
There's nothing more that gives a gleam in your eye than when you go Greven for 50.
I mean, yeah, but that's not really like, to me, guilty pleasure is something that people don't see coming, can't stop. It's bending the rules a bit, like, you know, like
Greven.
Okay, that's one example you've given there, but most of my decks are quite, like you say, happy, stompy. You see it coming miles off in the distance before you die to it. Yours tend to be, haha, this is happening now. What, can you stop it? No.
Why am I a 60s villain?
It's the goatee. But yeah, I mean, everyone has things that no one else likes. That's the way of it. So
fair enough. And finally, D Cake Baker asks, which of you is the better Magic player? I would say,
okay,
I'm the better Magic player. You're the better Commander player.
Okay, I love that, because you tend to be better at strategy, thinking ahead, being big and scary at the right times, and I tend to be better at rallying the forces against you, and then once you're gone, sneaking in and winning.
I would definitely say that were we in Game of Thrones before it got bad, you would survive to the end. I would die tragically in season 4, but still be a fan favourite.
Probably me shooting you with a crossbow or something.
Probably.
I like that analogy. I'll take that, yeah.
Well, there you go then. And there is your answer, and hopefully all satisfactory.
And sadly, that is all the time we have to answer your questions. We hope that you enjoyed this little bit of insight into how our minds work.
And for the winners of our competition in association with altersleeves.com, your names will be on the screen now. If your name is listed here, then be sure to direct message us on Twitter @4Commander.
And just before we go, we'd like to once again thank each and every one of you for watching our videos. We never dreamed that we'd make it anywhere near 10,000 subscribers when we first started this as a hobby, so thank you for making it a reality.
And for now though, all that's for us to say is, we'll see you next time.
Bye.